This is our Alcoa hot water pressure washer. It's been in storage for the past few months because we've been doing an experiment. Do you need a hot water pressure washer to clean a garbage truck? You might look at it and say, well, it looks pretty clean to me. And that's because after every route, we pressure wash this vehicle with a cold water pressure washer for the last 4 months as an experiment. And today is going to be the first time in those 4 months that it has been hot water pressure washed. If you're only dealing with dirt, you may not need a hot water pressure washer. But the issue is, with trash, there's a lot more than just dirt that you're cleaning. Grease is the biggest thing, especially on a machine like this. And keep in mind, this is a very small garbage truck with relatively few grease points. If you were to take a look at something like a full-size truck from PackTech, a company that makes them, you'd be looking at a lot more grease in a lot more locations. But I want to show you all these spots here that we simply cannot get clean with a cold water pressure washer. There's a lot of nooks, there's a lot of crannies, there's a lot of places that the cold water is just never going to be able to clean. One of the benefits of the hot water pressure washer is how it just melts everything away as it's working, even in places that you're not actively spraying. Just the heat alone is enough to kind of melt stuff off. And on the outside, it doesn't really look that bad, because on the outside, it's mainly just dirt that needs to get knocked off. But you'll notice, even on the top there, there's like this mildew or mold or just road grime that builds that the cold water pressure washer was never going to be able to take care of on its own. Today we've got about 15 or 20 cans to clean that are used cans that need to be sterilized so they can be put back in the ecosystem as we get more customers. We're also going to do the same thing to the garbage truck. I'm going to show you the difference that a hot water pressure washer makes. One of the main reasons I like having a hot water pressure washer is that I can sanitize cans without having to use any chemicals. I'm not really a big chemicals are bad for the environment guy, but chemicals are bad for you if you get them on your face when you spray them in a can and then you go to pressure wash a can out. Not having to use chemicals is really nice. It's a little bit safer for me. So if I can just sanitize a can with hot water, I'm going to do that. I am going to experiment with hitting everything with an all-natural degreaser first, both the truck and the cans. I'll follow up in another video on that. But one thing I will say about cleaning this truck, to do a really good job, you're going to want to pull it out in the middle of nowhere. You're going to want to take your time. You're going to want to wear something that you don't care about getting dirty, because everything will splash back on you. And probably if you devoted maybe an hour or two to it, that would get you the best results. I think I spent about a half hour just on the back section. More time would have made it look better. A degreaser beforehand might have made it look better, and taking the extra time to get on a ladder and wash everything down from the top to the bottom after the initial cleaning would have made everything look better as well. So I'm really hoping it'll show up, but this is quite a bit cleaner. You get used to where the grease is. The only issue with a hot water pressure washer is you've got to take your time, because with all the steam, it's hard to see where you've been. So like you can see, I could have done a better job of getting these nooks and crannies, but some of it you just can't, you know, the water sprays back at you. You can see how much cleaner that channel is, and that was me doing my best. But again, if you can get right up on it and you just don't care about how messy you get, it makes a big difference. I also was using the green nozzle, which is the least powerful. If you bumped up to something like a yellow nozzle, your cleaning power would improve. You might run into some paint peeling issues, but I think on a lot of these trucks, that's not a huge concern. You don't really care with the paint on it. You just want it to work. You can see how much cleaner the cylinders are. I tried not to blast a lot of the grease, because that just makes a huge mess. Around the front, you can see how it took care of stuff up top. Whether or not you need a hot water pressure washer is completely up to you to decide. But at least for me, when it comes to cleaning this garbage truck, it's the only thing I found that really cuts through the grease and the grime. If you're just dealing with dirt, maybe you don't need one. But especially if you've got hydraulic equipment and you've got oil or grease that you need to take care of, hot water pressure washer is the way to go.